Back to work on the SEARS Mudder. We'll be putting this choke kit on from O'Reilly's. So y'all know what it looks like. We're using some of those little pieces and parts, but not all of them. As everybody knows, if they own one of these Predator engines, you have to choke them every time you start them. So we'll be putting a choke kit on, we'll be hooking it up in this area right here, as I said in one of my videos with it. It's going to be putting a little tab on here or just drilling a hole through it. I don't know which one yet. We're going to drill a hole through right here, mount the little piece, have it wrap around or go through the motor like that. Go right up in the dash where the old choke is. So next time you see this, it's going to be drilled holes and probably the mount's going to be on. First thing you got to do, because these cables are so long, you got to pull it all the way out. Pull it all the way out. Put the rod through the hole. This is what it should look like after you put it through the hole and tighten it down. I put a washer in front of mine because the hole was too big. And then there's a bolt. And then zip. This is a SEARS, I just zip tied it across. And then I'm going to put one more zip tie and then put the bracket on. So after you got your cable zip tied down and cut to length, push it back through. As you can see, I had to cut a lot off. This was a 9-foot cable. There's probably like 3 or 4 foot of cable left. You want to cut it to length. Then you're going to drill 2 holes for your mount. Or these kits come with this little crimper. I might use this, or I think I might using this one because you just put a bolt in that one and it crimps in, and this one goes to the frame and crimps in. I'll probably just end up using this one. But you drill your little hole through there, then you take this and a flat pair of pliers, you make a bend in it. Here's the older one, just like that. You can see mine. Older one was rusted solid. It wouldn't work. But I'm gonna put the bracket on. Well, everything's in place now. Here's how it works. You see it's having a problem pushing it back through because you heard it click in place. So what I'm gonna do is put a spring, probably make a tiny mount that comes off here or down here, and just put a spring to it. And here's where it's bolted in. I did use that one crimper clamp. When you get this kit, see, I had to make a tiny washer. These little pieces, cut it in half right there, so like that right there. Use one of the holes if you're going to use their bolts, because the head of the screw will just go straight through that crimper and it won't work and it gets loose again. See, I made the fitting on the end where it curves down and goes under. But it works pretty good right now. I'm going to make the mount for the spring. Well, here's the end result. The choke works perfect now. See my little rigged up spring? I just put a bunch of zip ties in there and zip tied the spring over to it. That's just the recoil. And then just put it around the piece of wire, and here's how it's all set up. Just everything's zip tied underneath. The cable comes back and up to the dash. When you put the cable in, when you slide it through the wire, take some oil. I use that universal hydrostatic transmission oil because I bought too much of it one day and I also bought the wrong kind. But I put that in there and just put a little bit as you feed it in and just keep putting it in. It will drip. It drips out of this little piece right here, but that's normal, but it'll go through it. You can see a little bit come out at the end when you're done. But that's how it's set up. Let's try it out. Now everything controls on the dash except for the pull start, which I don't think I'll put that on the dash. To get out of gear. Well, I kill it because it's cold. But as you saw, everything works now. And some people wanted to know how that clutch worked. What I did was I took the center of the pivot bolt, where it used to be centered up with that axle down there. I moved it back 1/2 inch. Then I cut into the frame a little bit. About, I think it's 1 inch back and then 1.5 inches wide, where the end of that hitch pin is. And also on these SEARS pins, or the rods, they have one rod end that's way too long. It's right there, it's on that piece. I just take it out and I'll cut it off. I cut it off on all of mine. I don't like them that long because it starts to grab on the belt and stuff. But all it is a piece of flat steel welded on. That's what it was. This was the original piece that came out, and then this piece of 1/4 inch flat steel. This is probably about half that. And then there is another piece of flat steel welded down. It's about that long, and I say about 3 or 4 inches wide. I just lined the old thing up with the belt, and this is how much clearance it gives it. That's how close it is. It's about 1/4 inch, but it stops it. Here's the guard I made for the front. Completely wraps around the whole pulley. Gotta make one for the back. But that's, I don't know what update this is. This is probably number 2 or 3. But that's how I set the choke up. The next update will be the steering, because I got some machinery bushings. That gear down there, that's what's making it wobble, and the front end where it pivots, it needs to be shimmed out. I got these. These are, oh, I dropped them. These are 3/4 14 gauge machinery bushings and Tractor Supply. These are a pack of 7, I think. Count them. Yep, 7. I'm going to be putting them underneath this one, underneath this pin, and in the wheels, definitely, where they go across. Or they're wobbling back and forth. I gotta put one right here, or maybe 2 right here, as you can see how it's got so much play in it. And fill them up with grease. Might replace the one that's already underneath it. That's factory. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And that should fix the steering. I gotta drop the front steering pivot and put it in the middle bar right there where that bolt is, right behind it. Here's an update on the SEARS motor.